Good morning. Day 124 as we adventure through the Bible together and we rise and shine. This is my view today. We're not going to be able to see the sun, although it is a beautiful sunrise. I did stop and take some pictures. This is one of my favorite spots because it's just always so calm and quiet. And with doing these videos, I've got to be careful also to make sure that there's not a lot of background noise and traffic. This is called Palmasola Bay. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And there are people that are lucky enough to live here. Can you imagine? Do you think this would ever get old? Hey, good morning. So this morning was Proverbs 15, and I honed in on verses 21 and 22, and it was about, how the wise heed advice, and a fool enjoys their foolishness and doesn't heed that advice. And this is an area where I am growing in wisdom. I am a visionary. I'm creative. I grew up within the constant chaos of change, and not just like regular change, but like big change. We moved every year. We sold our belongings. It's exciting. Like all that change, while it's hard and it can be really sad, can also be really exciting. And your body and your nervous system kind of gets used to the adrenaline rush, and it's always looking for that. And so my adult life has been an interesting journey and sometimes I do feel like a child. I'm learning a new way. Thank you, God. And I'm sure my husband is thanking God too, because sometimes I have been like an impetuous child with him, like, yeah, but, trying to convince and cajole, and somebody who did not have that experience in life, which is actually ironically, one of the reasons that I, on my list of reasons is like, I was seeking out stability. Like I didn't want that for myself. But yet underneath, I kind of did, or at least I was used to it. So life in the same place eventually starts to feel boring to me. And so I love to travel. I love to adventure. I love to start new businesses. I love to anything that's new and that I can throw myself into with research and, that entrepreneurial spirit. It's not, that's probably no surprise to some people that know me. But when you want to stick with it, good morning. And you need to focus, but you're not bent that way. It's like, what? And you can find all kinds of reasons. In the business world, and maybe in other realms too, in coaching, I coach clients around this too. You get shiny object syndrome. You're like, well, maybe over there. And, in our current world where we are marketed to like nobody's business, like it can be very tempting. And I have been able to notice coincidences happening and see it as a sign. Like, oh, it's a sign. See? Yeah, but. And sometimes it has caused me to, not sometimes, quite a lot. I'm going to be honest here, humble and honest. It has caused me to to leap before I look. I think if that were a proverb in here, and maybe it is, we just haven't gotten to it yet, but you could rewrite verse 22, look before you leap. But there's a lot of us out there that leap first. You know what I mean? Are you one of those people? Or you probably, if you're not one, you probably know somebody that is. And it's probably exhausting. That's what we do. We wear people down. Like, come on, you know. And what I'm learning, I'm still in the process of learning, but I've even had a few recent experiences where I actually did heed advice. I even sat down with myself with a pen and paper. I looked at the big picture. I, took all of those, one of my coach calls it switch costs. Take all of the switch costs into effect and then evaluate, like, is this a good decision? Is this wise? And sometimes it is, and therein lies a little bit of the problem or the temptation for my brain, is that I've got enough evidence and enough experience to say, but it works out. Yeah, I think life does tend to work out one way or the other. And when you make a decision, you can always make another one. So sometimes, you can spin an indecision with all the possibilities, and then you don't do anything, or you act too impulsively, dive in first, leap before you look, but then you can make another decision. So I'm sure we've all got examples of this. I'm human, so therefore, and I know you're human too, so I know I'm not alone in this. That's the other lie our brain likes to tell us, is that we're the exception to the rule. Everybody else, they look like they've got it together. They're marketing themselves well, and they don't do this. I'm the only one that does this, and I'm broken, or there's a problem with me. That's not true. So if you're like me, one thing that I am learning as I slow down and I look, sometimes it is appropriate to leap. And sometimes it's like, whoa, Nellie, there's some rocks down there. I might get hurt. And maybe we can find another spot to leap from. There's, there's other options. And what stability creates in a stable mind and a wise mind that is discerning is that there's a lot of room for creativity within a stable environment. In particular, I am coaching within a community, and we have we have a 10-week program that we take people in that I coach in. And one of the ways we've set things up is that we I am responsible for a certain weeks, and there's a few of us coaches. So in order to just create continuity and stability for ourselves and for the program and, all of that, we have like a schedule. And man, have I fought this one, and I have probably frustrated my fellow coaches if they're listening at all. And it has been a real learning experience for me, because I'm like, but I want to do all of this, and I want to do, I was seeing my creativity being stifled, which is really not true. It was just my perspective and my kind of trained way, just my life experience has conditioned me, that's probably a better word, has conditioned me to see things this way. And then do that whole impetuous child, and then try to convince. Foolish. So settle down. I could see the wisdom in the way things have been set up. And yet there was this part of me, it's probably just my nervous system and just my normal way of being for years, that was resisting. This doesn't feel comfortable. This doesn't feel right. This is different for us. We've got to do things, change it up. That's where the excitement is. But within the stability, I have complete freedom and creativity. Those weeks are mine. I own them. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to do the same thing over and over again. Within that set parameters, I can get playful and creative. So it's been a really neat experience for me to learn a new way of being, and then to allow that to spill over into other areas of my life. In real estate, you might see agents, it's very common for agents to move brokerages. And sometimes that's the right move, but sometimes it's also the answer to, I just don't like it here, I quit, I'm out. And we look for, they're like, those are people just like me, that think that change out there is the answer, when internally we always have the ability and the complete freedom. We own this, and we don't fully understand how much creativity and freedom that we have within us, and the ability to change our own experience even within the same parameters of stability. Are y'all tracking with me? For those that are like adrenaline junkies and adventure junkies and explorers like me, you're always looking for it out there. And I'm not saying that's bad. Like that's part of me is still going to be satisfied because there is a lot to see. But within creating a stable life overall, I actually have freed myself up to experience even more of that. And I have wise advisors that, including myself now and the Bible, like I can sit down, I can slow myself down. And yesterday we talked about who you surround yourself and the importance of that. But when we also are seeking advice, make sure it's with people that actually know something about, like in my real estate business, I have a real estate coach who understands the ins and outs of that business. And I have a coach over here for this. So I have multiple coaches depending on what it is I'm looking at. Not that a good coach over here couldn't help me make some decisions, but when I specifically want, to think about this over here, I kind of want somebody that really understands the nuts and bolts of that. So even if I didn't have a real estate coach, I've got a realm of real estate people that I trust, like fellow brokers and realtors, that I can go to and say, help me out with this transaction. If something goes sideways, like we rely on each other. We have a network, and that's important. And likewise with parenting or whatever subject, like in a prior career in my marketing career, we used to call this, we had a team of people called subject matter experts. And it was our job to market the entire company. And of course we would be asked a lot of like very detailed questions from particular prospects. And I don't know the answer to everything for that company. I had to go to my subject matter experts. So I'm not going to go to, and this was in the finance industry, so I'm not going to go to the person that does the daily trading on the investments for a question about how to resolve a problem on this other thing over here from payroll, let's say, from a company. So you see, there was a detail I included that you all didn't really need, but it's subject matter experts are important when you're surrounding yourself with advisors. And our tendency when we're the yeah but people or the leapers, we go to people that we know will agree with us. And it doesn't matter if they're subject matter expert, or because we know that those people will say no. Like that, we even have probably an internal GP, like there's part of our brain that's going, don't go to them because they're going to squash your dreams. They're going to tell you no. Or you spend a lot of time building up your case, but here's all, like a trial attorney, like here's all that you've got everything answered beforehand so that they just can't say no. Oh man, I'm really calling myself out here. But that's okay. That's how we change. We can't change and go and grow in wisdom without being completely humble and have some humility and truth about where we are, and so that we can learn a new way. But that is the thing that I'm learning. You can retrain yourself, and really our whole world exists right up here, and we get to choose how we perceive things. And a person that well, let's go back to my example because of my personal life experience of moving all the time. I actually might free myself up to have more adventure if I can finally have a stable, like, home base and not be looking out there and making a big change, like moving is the answer. What if you just traveled, girl? What if you just were happy where you were, you know? And that's up to me. My brain, I know, needs a lot of time and a lot of experience to go, for my mind and my brain to sort of catch up. It's like hardware and software when you install it, and then you've got the programming, and then you've got to learn how to use it all. So it takes time and patience, which but and leapers don't have. And so we just keep just pushing. And what I'm finding that I need to do is push through that feeling. Like, that's a craving, just like anything else. Like, you know, a day when I really want a cheeseburger or an ice cream cone, and I can just surf that urge. Like, it doesn't stay there forever. And even though it feels uncomfortable for the moment and I've got to yab at somebody, I can get through it. And then I can see the wisdom of slowing down, really going and talking to a wise advisor with subject matter expertise and the Bible, God ultimately, and just learn a new way of being. So hopefully I'm going to wrap this up because we've got somebody joining us for this beautiful view, and you guys go have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, bye now.